Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. God is right here. Let me say that again. God is right here. Do you watch television news where you are, especially the evening news? The local news and the international news are all filled with drama. Back in David's time, there was no electronic media to report all the things that were happening around him. But don't worry, David was not ignorant of what was going on in his world, inside his country, and the surrounding nations. Come with me as I visit Psalm 36 and hear the newscast. If you will indulge me, allow me to divide this psalm into 3 segments. Section 1. This is what David noticed in his homeland. I have a message from God in my heart concerning the sinfulness of the wicked. There is no fear of God before their eyes. In their own eyes they flatter themselves too much to detect or hate their sin. The words of their mouths are wicked and deceitful. They fail to act wisely or do good. Even on their beds they plot evil. They commit themselves to a sinful course and do not reject what is wrong. That's Psalm 36 verses 1 to 4. David describes the society as the sinfulness of the wicked, obviously setting the stage of what was to come. Sinfulness speaks of the volume of evil in the society, and to talk about the wicked is to recognize that the preponderance of sinfulness is carried out by the many wicked people in and around this society. Does that sound familiar? That grown man, for example, who was arrested in my county for kidnapping a teenage girl and carrying her to several states, using her as a prostitute. Then there was the news of the drive-by shooting in a community nearby that claimed the lives of several people. David's world was no different from our world. Imagine people are so comfortable in their wickedness that makes them show no restraint because not even God can stop them. That is the extent of their confidence in their invincibility. You know what I'm talking about. There are entrepreneurs, entertainers, politicians, corrupt police, teenage boys who take rifles to school, drug dealers who mix dangerous drugs with candy and sell to children. If it is wrong, they're doing it. They commit themselves to a sinful course and do not reject what is wrong. Such depth of depravity then and now that people are proud of themselves as they sink further and further into wickedness and evil. Is that it, David? Is that the world you lived in? Sounds like our world too, no doubt. But somehow David is not in mourning. He never throws up his hand in despair because there is something amazing going on. Section 2 of the Psalm. Your love, Lord, reaches to the heavens, your faithfulness to the skies. Your righteousness is like the highest mountains, your justice like the great deep. You, Lord, preserve both people and animals. How priceless is your unfailing love, O God. People take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house. You give them drink from your river of delights, for with you is the fountain of life. In your light, we see light. Psalm 36, 5 to 9. David practically says that God is still around and his universal love is still active and dynamic. He breaks out in an exciting narrative about God, celebrating God's vast, enormous love. He simply adores God's unlimited faithfulness. Sounds familiar? Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3 verses 22 and 23. David talks about God's righteousness that is unlimited and God's unfathomable justice. I hear you, David. There's a huge fountain of hope in the midst of the wickedness that can be seen for miles around. David is joyful to report that despite there are so many wicked people around, there is a great number of people who are serving God. Let me say that again. Despite the wickedness that is going on, there is a great number of people who are serving God. David says of them, People take refuge in the shadow of God's wings. That reminds me of a similar sentiment expressed elsewhere. He will cover you with his feather, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day. Psalm 91, verses 4 and 5. And in case you feel this is all around you, David is ecstatic that God's people are enjoying their life. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light, God, we see light. Psalm 36 and verse 9. Then we come to the third and final segment of this psalm. Then he has this personal moment with God. Let's hear what David has to say to God in this moment of prayer, as he pours out his heart to God, the powerful God who he was just celebrating. It is a prayer of faith in who God is. Continue your love to those who know you, your righteousness to the upright in heart. May the foot of the proud not come against me, nor the hand of the wicked drive me away. See how the evildoers lie fallen, thrown down, not able to rise. Psalm 36, verses 10 to 12. My friend, David has done it again. Once more, he has taught us about faith in God. Yes, we are living in a world filled with wickedness all around. Celebrities are exposed for the bad things they do in private. The ugliness of wars and crime and greed and cruelty around us is growing, and it is enough to cause us to lose hope. But not David. He knows God. He knows the all-powerful God. That God is still the same God we can celebrate because he is simply the greatest. As we come to the end of our visit with King David, a man after God's own heart, a man who has been to war many times and won victory after victory, in this age we can find the faith that David shows in his God. Against the backdrop of evil, we can pray like David. Pray that God will bless our Christian brothers and sisters. Pray for God's protection over our own lives, that the evil people will not come near us. We can trust God that while he protects us, it is only a matter of time that we will see wicked people who hate Christians all fall. Some are falling even while we speak. See how the evildoers lie fallen, thrown down, not able to rise? Verse 12 of Psalm 36. My friend, wherever you are, I have stopped by to tell you that God is right here. He is right here with you. So do not fear. Rest in God's protection.